One of the most underutilized tactics in increasing your business income is increasing the value of your offer. A lot of people are focused on finding more customers. A lot of people are focused on conversion, especially if those things have been very difficult, no matter what you tinker with in terms of the headline or the images in your ads, for example, and no one's buying it. It might be the offer itself that you really need to fix. It might be that you're not solving the right problems, or simply the value isn't there. And I will tell you, honestly and brutally, a lot of people offer very similar products to other people. And they think, oh, I have this small tweak that makes it a little bit better than the others. And because I'm a little bit better, everyone should prefer me. No, what happens in actuality is your customer is looking at a huge array of products. It is difficult to differentiate any of them by little tweaks or little measures, and the only thing that stands out is something that dramatically is more valuable. It's solving more of the problem, or it's solving the problem in a way that is specific to them, that speaks to them, so they know this is the exact product for me versus all of the other generic products that are trying to work for everybody all at the same time. So if you increase the value of your offer, all of a sudden you don't have to compete on price. You can raise your prices, and even you might get more conversion and more interest because you're offering something dramatically different or dramatically better than the alternative. You just have to remember, offering something dramatically better than the alternative is difficult. It's not going to come just from little tweaks. In terms of like, I'll offer a little bit more. Often you have to go back to the drawing board, really understand your customer better, and do things that no one else is doing. So, with that said, let me take you into the business income gains spreadsheet. That is a free tool, link below. If you are just joining us for this segment, yes, you can learn a lot from it, but all of the forecasting and the user avatar work that I'm going to refer to refers to prior video, so I highly suggest you go back to the user avatar video and the financial modeling video so you can set this up and get the full value of crafting your offer so that you can increase the value of your goods you're offering and increase the price at a point that people are still happy to pay it. Hi, I'm Alec from Easier Habits, and I coach overthinking entrepreneurs and how to turn their anxiety and overwhelm into unstoppable execution. And this is a video series, the Business Income Gains series, where I show you a specific system with a free spreadsheet tool that you can use to help you focus and act rather than getting overwhelmed and getting stumped by indecision. The third strategy tab in the Business Income Gains worksheet is the Craft Your Offer tab. This is designed to help you take your existing offers and take them to the next level. However, I would say the first thing you should do when you're designing a business is go ahead and craft that offer and test that in an MVP fashion, whether just initially by talking to people, then maybe by manually providing services rather than actually producing the good or an app or whatever it is, etc., or having people convert from a landing page with your offer to a wait list before you actually create the product, etc. So you should definitely have a killer offer. Now, the book on writing an awesome offer has been written. That's Alex Hormozi's $100 Million. It's incredibly inexpensive. I think the Kindle version is like $2. You should check it out. And so there's a lot that could be said about how to craft a brilliant author, and I think Alex Hormozi has said a good chunk of it. Today, we'll be diving into the offer strategy section. As a reminder, I'm using the e-commerce example from the examples tab in my financials, a direct-to-consumer keto cereal company, and our avatar is Ted, who heard about keto and slow carbs from Tim Ferriss and follows him. He is interested in the keto or slow carb alternative diets to have more energy so he can be a high performer at work, maybe start his own company eventually. So this is the Craft Your Offer tab. Here are some common strategies, although Going back to the drawing board is also another strategy I haven't listed here. I think that would like crush people's hopes and dreams, their souls. If you're really underperforming with a market, then maybe you ought to look at that. Otherwise, you can use the business income gain spreadsheet to craft a little better offer, and I'll show you how to do that. Get some more net revenue, which hopefully can buy you some time to invest in new products or services that could be higher performing. So that's kind of the incremental way to get to a space where you can overhaul your product or come up with a brand new product. So the other thing that I haven't been listing in the offer strategies is downselling. Partially just because it's a risky strategy. You might increase your conversion rate, but if you lower your ATV, that can have a very negative impact on your company. So you'd have to test that one very carefully. That said, there's a number of different ways we can change our offer. Now, one of the things that is tricky with this particular e-commerce example, if you look at the financials, they depend on paid traffic, and paid traffic is about 2/3 of their expenses, like 2/3 of their revenue goes straight to just acquiring traffic. So part of what needs to happen for this business to be successful, in addition to like higher conversion rates, lower cost of acquisition, would be increasing the average value of the transaction. So we can think about that in a few different ways. And we'll model some ways of thinking about offer in terms of raising the value, thinking about offer in terms of increasing the value and keeping the price same to increase conversion, and we will demonstrate the power of subscriptions real quick right now. So, all right, there are a bunch of problems associated with keto that we could go back to the user avatar using those questions and brainstorm products. There's also great exercise in the $100 million offer books on thinking through a customer's or potential customers' problems and really generating tons and tons of product ideas. So if you're strapped for product ideas, definitely go to $100 million offers. Check that out. To keep things short in this video, we'll assume that Ted is interested, obviously, in keto if he has keto cereal, and the other problems that he is going to have are maybe a guide. He needs a guide on when to eat for maximum energy, what to eat along with keto cereal. That could include recipes. That could include ready-to-go meal plans and shopping lists. It could be how to exercise on keto for maximum energy and how to get through any brain fog or transition periods quicker, etc. So there's a bunch of digital keto-related guides that are, how to do keto beyond just eating cereals instead of junk food when you got the munchie, a keto-friendly cereal instead of junk food when you got the munchies. So we could create some sort of digital package for that, and we could offer that, for example, as a bundle. So buy our cereal or buy our cereal with an additional digital keto package, valued at $100 for only $20. Right? And we can assume maybe if 1 in 20 people, or let's say 1 in 10 people, buy the $20 upgrade to the keto cereal plus the digital guides and meal plans, etc., that would impact the ATV in $2. That's $9,000 right there. We'll assume the conversion rate stays around the same, but maybe slight increase. There's some people who wouldn't buy the cereal by itself, but with some keto guides they might buy some cereal. Who knows, right? That is a $12,000 impact right there. What if, though, instead of as kind of an upsell, actually cereal plus cereal bundled with the keto guides, what if we just offered it for free, valued at $100, you get it for free with your cereal, and we're going in a conversion play? What would that look like? Well, say, we increase our conversion rate 3%. Right now I'm going with a quick gut check, but you can watch the videos from before to see the types of ways I think through calculating a potential conversion ratio. So 3%. So 3%, would be more powerful than a $2. Well, actually, it's almost as powerful. 3% is almost as powerful as a $2 increase on its own, right? It would be better than a $1 increase, right? Depends on how confident I am that I could get 1 in 10 people to buy it versus 1 in 20 people to buy a $20 upgrade, whether just offering it for free and then hoping for a 3% increase in conversions would be worth it. Could be more. And then that could be something you split test or play around with, see which one is more effective for your business, but that gives you a pretty specific guide. You could produce this. This is digital, so there's no additional cost of goods sold. And how much more operational cost would there be if you're producing it by yourself? There'd be zero. So I haven't been calculating that in. You could easily contract with someone else, and then you have to create it, and then you have the product. Let's say there is like some design work, and with the whole suite, you like really go all out on design and like copywriting or something like that. I don't know how expensive it would be to create those design templates, but say you spend $1,000 on increasing your impact and offering that as a free bundle, etc. And there are things that you could do. For instance, if your digital products referred back to content on your site, that could be a source of additional traffic. Generally speaking, the offer section, you're not necessarily thinking about that yet, but that is something to consider. This, as modeled right here, is the conversion play. If I am not confident that I can get 1 in 10 people to buy a $20 upgrade, but I do think I can get a 3% improvement if I offer it for free, all right, I'll model 7,000 there. But let me do a quick calculation, all right, for what a subscription would be like. So I'm going to assume at least 1 in 20 people who are buying keto cereal would like to buy keto cereal regularly, assuming they like it. That depends on how good your cereal is, the product, and so that really is important. But all right, if we offer a subscription and say it's a monthly subscription and a box of cereal costs $10, you go through a box a week, so it's $40 per month, and people on average buy a couple months of cereal. They buy it in bulk or something. $80 would be for 2 months. Let's say a subscription, it's every 2 months you get the $80 bulk package for slightly cheaper. Maybe you sell individual boxes for 12 or more or whatever. Okay, so you say people who subscribe buy 3 times as much cereal on average. So if your average ATV is 80, they eventually, through their subscription, at least buy for 6 months. And so you have percentage of your buyers times 0.95 times 240. They're buying 3 times as much, plus the old percentage of the buyers who are just buying the usual average 80. So 1 in 20 people subscribe and end up buying 3 times as much. And then all of a sudden, even though that's like 1 in 20 people, right, the ATV shot up $8. And that's 1 in 20 people. What if we think, all right, 1 in 20 people, maybe that's too high, right? I like my 1 to 3%. 3% of people, 3% is such an achievable goal. So like, what if only 3% of people buy it? That's still, a 4.8 or $4.80 increase in my average transaction value. Now, I'm assuming there's not going to be a higher conversion rate for subscriptions, but I mean, who knows? Maybe there's even a small section of people who are looking for subscription products. I don't know, but that's the power of subscriptions. The repeat business is so powerful. Even if someone likes keto cereal, if they forget about you or your store and run out of cereal, they might just quick go to the grocery store and see if they have something keto friendly, grab something off the shelves. I'm treating that entire subscription, by the way, in a streamlined sense as a single transaction. It could be modeled as a series of transactions. So like a higher number of conversions. But for the sake of just forecasting what to focus on in your business, this kind of modeling is the quick and dirty modeling that I have been doing. It's good enough. Remember, you can't forecast everything anyway, so they're diminishing returns and being hyper accurate. This seems to take the cake. We've pulled our aspirations from 1 in 20 to 1 in 30 or so, and with the subscription, what would that look like? What's the operational cost? Maybe there's some infrastructure costs, some kind of Shopify plugin, etc. Who knows? So I don't know. You could leave the $1,000 operational cost there if you like. $20,000. That is really kicking the butt out of any of our other strategies so far. So we have Find Your Avatar coming in at $6,000 and $10,000 for some paid strategies. Improving our ads to the tune of $12,000, but subscription is incredibly powerful. So we're seeing that give us a net income increase of $20,000 or almost 50% increase in our net revenue. So that's the power of small tweaks. Again, we weren't forecasting that we're going to get 10% or 15% or some huge amount of our customers to buy a subscription. We're just assuming that maybe not in the first offer, but if we tweak the language the right way and the value that, and speak our customers' language, like don't have to run for the store and face an empty keto cereal shelf when you need your munchies or whatever. This gives you a pretty clear indication of something that you could focus on that would have a ginormous impact in your business. And that's only if like 3% of customers buy. Again, we can walk this down. Like, what if only 1% of customers buys? Right? And it's 160. All right, so it's 6,000, not negligible, right? And so if 2%, I'm assuming, let's see, 2%. So we can kind of forecast different success rates and calibrate our goals. So 3.2%. Maybe we decide a 2% is achievable and worth it to go at this point. Even at a 2%, it's still the 2% people buy a subscription and on average end up buying 6 months worth of cereal instead of a couple months. So on average, it is still beating out the speak their language ad and image improvements at 12,000. So I feel pretty safe in saying, like, all right, if you want to even set your sights even lower in 2%, this is still very likely to be the biggest impact on your company with an over 25% increase in net revenue. So go ahead and fill out the Craft Your Offer section of the Business Income Spreadsheet. You may have to take a break and brainstorm different possible product offerings. If this is difficult for you, one, I acknowledge it might feel a little bit like going back to the drawing board and people are very hesitant to rewire their product. But often the biggest thing you can do to raise your income and make it easier to sell is offer something that is so dramatically better than the alternatives that it's easy to sell and people are willing to pay more for it. Amazing thing happens. One, when you offer a product like that, for one thing, all right, it is heavy lift up front and it is difficult and it is hard, which is why most people do it. But when you start offering dramatically more value to your customers than your competition, then you start to find ways to automate that. Is there a way I could train somebody else to do this? Is there an ebook or an online course I could use to help teach someone that skill rather than me doing it for them, etc.? And you find ways to automate, and you're still offering the same value or very close in value, but all of a sudden you don't have to have that huge personal investment, and that can be a huge breakthrough for businesses. But you often don't get to that breakthrough without first trying to offer something dramatically more valuable to your customers. So that is a very long plea to really consider this step, because I see as a business coach, a lot of people skip that. A lot of people want, like, how can I sell what I already have more? And very often the biggest obstacle to selling what they already have is what they already have. It's not about being a better salesman all the time. You only need to be an amazing salesman if what you're selling is comparable in value. That's another Alex Hormozy insight where he goes over in that book. So I am not an affiliate. I'm not getting any money from him. I just think he's fantastic. And if you're getting into trouble at this step, $100 million offers is absolutely the place you should go to rewire your brain and how you think about crafting a better offer. And I would actually be surprised if this isn't one of the most valuable ways that you can have an impact on your business, recrafting your offer. So go ahead and check that out. Coming up next in the Business Income Gains series, we'll talk about re-engaging your customers. You might be leaving money on the table by ignoring them after they buy your product and you ship it out or deliver your service. So that is the last strategic section that you can compare: finding your avatar, speaking their language so they convert, crafting your offer, and re-engaging your customers. And after that video, I will follow up with a video on how to apply this framework, how to actually put it in practice. So this whole framework has been strategic. It has been how to find what to focus on. I will talk to you at the end of this series on how to actually put this into practice so you can realize those business results.